pretzel M&Ms whenever I wanted.
Well, I used to, but I cut them out.
Why?
Well, just
Can we talk
Just
about
cut 'em out.
guidance?
Pledge and the prayer led by Kari Evans.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Lord, we come before you again tonight with grateful hearts for our town, our friends, our families, and all that we have. We ask you, as always, to help us do what's right for the citizens of Boonville and to lead us in that direction in this meeting tonight. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, roll call. Evans.
Here.
Meadows. Here. Beach.
Here.
Hurt.
Here.
Livingston.
Here.
Ehlers. Here. Dorman.
Here.
Young.
Here.
Okay, and next we're going to go into hearing of citizens' comments, but we have Matt Schneeringer on the agenda. We are also adding Sarah Gallagher to the agenda of citizens' comments for a Katy Bridge Coalition update. And before we call Matt to the stand, is there anyone else here for citizen comments that would like to come to the podium? Okay, if not, we'll have Matt Schneeringer come forward from the YMCA, and Matt, you will have 7 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to be passing out. This is our annual report that the YMCA produces each year. To your knowledge and information.
And Matt, if you don't mind, sign in there.
Just wanted to give the city a quick update as to what's going on at the Y and how 2014 went for us. I won't go over the annual report in detail or anything, but 2014 was a pretty good year. We made some progress in our collaborations in the community, reaching out a little bit more, and that's one of our goals. We increased both our membership and the number of programs we're doing, and I'll go over that in a second. And our finances got a little bit better as well. So all around, it was a pretty good year. The details are in there, but I'll start with a few programs. In 2014, we started youth and adult tennis, and we started cross country. And I'd have to say that it wasn't possible without the help of Gary. He got us started on those programs. He made some contacts for us over in Columbia. We were able to do a little collaboration. We got a grant now to get a little bit more equipment. The program started. It went pretty well for a first-time program, but it was good enough that we're offering it again, and we're advertising it more, and I think it will grow a little bit more this year. We'll see. But it's a nice summer program that we offer for the youth to give them some options. The cross-country program, it was pretty good last year. We got some competing in. It was a good event, and it added a little bit more variety to our programs. So we're looking at another successful program this year in those two areas, as well as we're about to start up our summer camp and a few other things. We also do, as you might know, second grade swim lessons for the community. I don't know if any of you saw the news piece on KOMU out of Columbia. They just did a piece. We are apparently about the only community that offers free swim lessons to all second graders in the community.
Oh, that's cool.
And we are right in the middle of that right now. It's going strong, and the staff there are doing a great job with that piece. We also started another community-wide, this one's fitness related, we did a Biggest Loser contest this year. At the end of 2014, going into 2015, we actually had 175 people sign up for it. About 50 or 60 of those weren't Y members. So we had a good poll. And I have to say I was impressed with the results. We lost about 20 that didn't actually finish the program, but it was such a successful program. 155 finished. It was such a successful program. We started another one right away, and we still have over 100 signed up for that one as well, going into the summer months. So very successful. We were excited about the number of people that showed interest in maybe making a few corrections on their healthy lifestyles. So very good on that. We have I think I mentioned last time I was here, we received the 21st Century Grant again. It's a 5-year grant. We have to reapply each year, but it's for 5 years. And that is a grant to work with school-age kids after school that the school district recommends or refers to us who might need a little more help with the tutoring and the homework, things like that. We also received a CACFP grant, a food grant from the state. We are actually serving hot meals to the kids after school at the Y, and that will continue into the summer as well. So those are just a few things going on. It's always pretty busy. Our usage actually went up by about 20% from last year to this year, the usage in the facility. Our memberships went up by about 10% from last year to this year, so an increase there as well. Other than that, we're moving forward with collaborations. We've reached out to Boone Hospital, and we're working with them on some what you might call health checks. If you remember the mobile health units, we're working with them to bring those about more often. We're working with CCMH. We're doing the Healthy Kids Day coming up May 9th. So we're reaching out more with collaborations as well. But it was a good year last year, and it's shaping up to be a good year this year. Any questions?
So you hear a lot of people around the community talking about the Y and things going on.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening. First of all, I want to start out by saying congratulations to the new city council members. Welcome aboard. Glad to see you back, Mark and Vanessa. Glad to have you. I also think it's important to mention this exciting event that happened this last week. If you read the article in the Boonville Daily News regarding the Boonville being in the top 10 small towns in America by the Smithsonian Magazine, that's quite a coup for us. And I want to actually thank the citizens of Boonville, the merchants of Boonville, and also the person who I believe her name is Kim down at Tourism that talked to these people when they called, because she must have done a great sale job, because they came away with a lot of information that I think really showed what we have to offer in the way of tourism. I want to just read, just for the record, the last little paragraph here. First of all, this is from a gentleman that came to visit from Arkansas and came to ride the Katy Trail, and he said it's wonderful how people take care of their land. Ward said, as a tourist who likes to see working communities, which we certainly are, Ward and his wife planned to see what Boonville had to offer that evening. While this was his first trip to Missouri, he had one other goal in mind, one that may bring him back. I will be really interested when they complete the Katy Bridge, Ward said. And I thought that was really an exciting validation for the work that we do, and for those of us that have been at it for over 10 years now, it really makes me feel good to know that people that come to visit our community see that and see that we have created a goal around redeveloping that asset that we have here in our community. So I believe these are my talking points. Again, welcome to the city council members, the new city council members. I think we sent digital copies of our materials to your email right before the meeting, so you should have some things for you. Please contact us if you have any questions about what's going on, because we'll be happy to meet with you at any time and give you an update if you feel like you don't have complete information. Our meetings are always open to you, so you feel free. We meet the second Wednesday of every month. It just so happens that we didn't have a quorum last Wednesday, so we are meeting this Wednesday at Dick Blank's office at 5:30, and you're certainly welcome to attend. We submitted our financial reports to the city, and those are available along with our minutes with Kate Fiel in her office, and all you have to do is approach her, and she will be happy to provide that information for you. Since our last report, there was a purchase of $10,000 in tax credits. That brings our total to roughly $12,000 in credits left. We are continuing in our efforts to sell the remaining credits, mostly through individuals, letters, personal comments, personal contacts, and we do have a few people that are in the thinking process right now. So I'm hoping that we have those done by the very latest in June. That 10,000 came from Pat Jones in the meeting we had with her on February 27th, and we've contacted and been in contact with her assistant since then. She's agreed to help us identify other old guard from Edward Jones who might be interested in purchasing the tax credits. We have created a list based on the top 50 Missouri foundations and the top 50 national foundations, and are submitting application packages to each. To that end, we are collecting letters of recommendation that we can keep on file and use in our portfolio packets that we are sending out. We have upgraded those materials, and they're not expensive, they're not overpriced, but they're very tasteful, very nice, and I think quite comprehensive. To that end, as I said, we're collecting letters. We've already received letters from the New Franklin mayor and the Howard County commissioners. We are working with Cooper County commissioners right now. We have also sent requests to people like Darwin Heineman, Mike Dennehy, and others, and hope to have those by the end of the month. We would also hope that the City of Boonville would provide us with a letter of support as well to go in that packet. That does show that there are other people who are known, as well as government officials, that are supporting what we're doing. We are still working with Caterpillar on a presentation to their gift-giving committee. Our last efforts were interrupted by their water emergency, and it's our understanding that they're just now really getting back to normal after all of that. So our meeting is tentatively set right now for May 14th. We had meetings with Senator McCaskill and Senator Blunt's representatives on March 3rd. They are helping us to identify some possible funding streams for which we might apply. Also want to thank city employees who supported our Isle of Capri meal fundraiser. It was on March 17th, and a lot of people from the city went down there and had lunch. We really appreciate that. This morning, we had a pre-recorded interview on KBIA Radio Friends with Paul Pepper. When I was talking to, I went over and did the interview, and Paul Pepper asked us to come back again in early September to talk about our wine walk, which is already in the planning stages. I talked a lot about, mostly the Peddlers Jamboree, but how the Katy Bridge fits into that and the interest that it provides in central Missouri region, and what it means to generally all in all the Katy Trail. We submitted an ad for the tourism guide. Mike Dennehy has been kind enough to give us a free digital ad for the Peddlers Jamboree. I believe that's going to be online. We will also have a presence at the event and sell coffee cups and talk to visitors and promote tax credits and whatever. Last year, volunteers were there until 1 a.m. Lots of interest in our group. Ann Harmon from Celestial Bodies has been kind enough to volunteer her store window for us to put up a display. And Vanessa has agreed to help us put together a window that promotes the bridge and the Peddlers Jamboree. Mike Dennehy is also working with us on that. We did speaking engagements with the Howard County Rotary and the Historical Society, and we're now working on opportunities to speak in Boone County. Our social media statistics continue to be strong. We are adding 2 new platforms this week, Reddit and Vimeo. Anybody know about those? I don't, but anyway, they'll add to our contacts and our media blitz. We also have added Todd Bosley to our board. And as for those of you who know Todd, he gives a great program, and he has a lot to say. He's very knowledgeable about the bridge and has been actively involved with the bridge project for a long time. And we also have 2 other prospects that we might be adding in the next month or 2. So that's my report. Anybody have any questions? Comments, questions? Okay,
Sounds like you've been busy.
we're pretty busy.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to approval of the minutes from the April 14th council meeting. They're in your packet. Any corrections or additions? Okay, with no additions or corrections, they will stand as presented since they were in your packets ahead of time. Next, we have on the agenda consent items, of which there are none. Presentation of accounts and claims.
Ordinance appropriating money. Be it ordained by council of the City of Boonville as follows. Section 1, for the purpose of paying salaries and various accounts against the City of Boonville, which have been allowed by the council at the regular meeting thereof on April 20th, 2015, the sum of $324,665.63. General Fund, $145,295.00. Sanitation, $28,169.33. CIP tax, $16,208.72. Waterworks, $75,930.54. Capital projects, $28.00. Wastewater, $25,031.61. Tourism, $15,134.66. Gaming, $18,867.77. Parks and Water, $0.00. Section 2. The bookkeeper is hereby authorized and instructed to draw checks on the respective city bank accounts in favor of the persons whose salaries and accounts have been allowed as above, amounting to $324,665.63, being the total amount of money above appropriated. Section 3. This ordinance shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage, first reading on April 20th, 2015, read for the second time this 20th day of April 2015, since a copy was made available prior to the meeting.
Second reading title only.
Where's Morris? Ordinance appropriating money.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Ned made motion. Second by Kari. Roll call.
Evans?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Beach?
Yes.
Hurt?
Yes.
Livingston?
Yes.
Ehlers?
Yes.
Dorman?
Yes.
Young?
Yes.
Okay. Next on the agenda is unfinished business, of which we have none this evening. And new business is consider parking restriction request from Nelson Memorial United Methodist Church for the Motorcycle Prison Ministry event on June 6, 2015. I believe the notifications are in your packet. There is a map on page 8 that shows the proposed parking restriction area. I see Larry Long is here, if anybody has any questions for him.
Move this be approved.
Okay, we have a motion to approve, seconded by Susan. Any questions or comments? This has been an annual event for how many years now? 15 years. Okay, brings a lot of people to our community. Okay, roll call.
Evans?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Beach?
Yes.
Hurt?
Yes.
Livingston?
Yes.
Ayers?
Yes?
Dorman?
Yes.
Young?
Yes.
Okay. Move on to reports of standing committees. Boone Housing Authority, Ned?
The minutes on the March meeting are not in the packet. On the April meeting, they are. We've been going through planning, both 5-year and 1 year. And there's the results of one of the recent assessments is in there. Bob and Scott and Nancy continue to have very good ratings. Any questions?
Okay, we'll move on to Board of Public Works. ML? Okay. Planning and zoning, there was no meeting. It was canceled on April 14th due to lack of agenda items. Police Board, Ned?
Had a good meeting without a quorum, so there wasn't any action taken. There's some good comments in there on how well the new camera situation is going, which I think is particularly interesting that our
That's in place?
officers. Yeah, it's in place, they're doing it, and our officers really like it. So I like it too.
Okay. Industrial Development Authority, Kate? Any questions for Kate?
Kate? State Fair Community College has agreed in principle with the city's concept for the building. They will probably phase in the use of the building according to Jim. What does that really mean? Does that mean they're in? Does that mean that they're still wishy-washying?
No, Jim and Kinsey and I believe Brent Bates as well have all met and they're working out the lease agreement for
Okay.
what will happen with State Fair. And we're doing their budget planning. I can't remember what their fiscal year runs, so they were checking in with us to say, when are we gonna get in? When are we gonna have to pay rent? So I don't foresee any problems. And Jim can probably speak for himself.
And we still got a year and a half before that.
Yes, so they've agreed to the proposed rate. What they've asked for is a little consideration in that they're going from their current footprint to adding 15,000 square feet.
Right.
So they wanted to put forth a proposal whereas they would phase into the 15,000 to allow them to grow their programs. I asked them to make a proposal back, and that's what they're doing.
Great, great. It sounds like that's moving the way we wanted it to. Then on the MFA, the Sudden Link thing was kind of confusing, and then we throw in the Como thing. My understanding on the Como is that that's like the inland and the dish type thing. It is not a cable type thing. Is that correct?
Yes, I do.
So we've had some talk. So Como Electric Cooperative has a sister company that is a wholly owned subsidiary that is Como Connect is the name of it, and it is doing fiber optic to the home, so up to gigabit Ethernet to your
Right.
home.
I'd heard about that, but I didn't know about the TV side.
Well, yeah, they're doing for most of their customers, they're doing what they're calling a triple play, which is internet, TV, and telephone, $30 a month each. So $90 gets you all three, and it's all fiber from their data center in Tipton to your house. So it's all light. It's not wiring. So
That's does that mean that they're going to replace the infrastructure that's in place, the Sudden Link cable that's in place?
Well, so to give you some context, in talking with them about, one thing is that the footprint that Como Electric Cooperative serves is regulated. The footprint that Como Connect is allowed to serve is not governed by the same borders. Where they run parallel with each other is that Como Connect's infrastructure is going to be in the rights of way owned by Como Electric Cooperative. So where this discussion started actually was serving the Highway 87 annexation corridor,
Right.
where we began those discussions to understand if they would be willing to serve that area should the proposed plans come through to add a significant amount of housing out there.
Right.
Related with that has been an unwillingness thus far for Suddenlink to expand their footprint, and there are areas in Boonville now that are unserved with their services. So in the midst of all that comes up a renewal on Suddenlink's property that is owned by the Municipal Facilities Authority. And so we just had a question, what does this do, if anything? And I think the answer to that is nothing, because my understanding is that there's some automatic renewals in that lease agreement, so it doesn't really affect anything. But that came to light just as the question about where Como was going to serve or not came up.
When's the city's contract with Suddenlink come up?
My understanding is that the franchise agreement is expired.
Interesting.
So, and just in to be transparent, Como has also said they have no interest in overbuilding Suddenlink's plant. So they have no intention on competing directly with Como, and the issue also becomes that their wires would, or not wires, if they ran their infrastructure on poles, they would be 18 inches below, on Ameren's poles, they would be 18 inches below the wires that are there for the cable now, which would make all the poles too short. So it's not feasible for them to compete where Suddenlink has a presence. However, I also need to tell you that there have been instances where cable providers in our sister cities have been abandoned without notice. So California, Tipton, Versailles have all been abandoned without notice. Fayette was abandoned by Suddenlink without notice. So how all that plays together, who knows? But what started us down this road was actually talking to them about the Highway 87 corridor and who would serve those folks out there. AT&T can't. It's a technological issue, so.
It's interesting. Thank you.
They lease some land from them. It's not the city, it's
Okay, well, we kind of jumped ahead to the Municipal Facilities Authority. Any other questions regarding that report? Okay, Historic Preservation Commission, Kari?
Yeah, the minutes are in the packet. I was not able to attend that night. Still some ongoing projects, the Historic District on Spring Street, some educational workshops, and then I have the report that was done on 313 Morgan, the Stall House. I have a copy of that to give it to Teresa, right, for posterity. Okay. Kind of sad, that house is old, or was old. But Steve, don't say anything. 1825.
Okay, reports of city officials. Earl?
nothing tonight.
Okay, under mayor, you'll see at your seats and also in your packet are the council committee appointments for 2015-16. These appointments are for 1 year. You will note that they are effective May 1st this year. So if you are on a committee and it has yet to meet in April, we ask if at all possible you attend that meeting. That's you. So any questions on those? And I understand that next meeting will have
The booklets.
booklets regarding those committees and the dates in which they meet and all. If you have any questions on that, Teresa also has that information available at City Hall. New committee appointment by Historic Preservation. We have a recommendation on page 1 in the back, page 25. See that one there? Page 25. Kate Johnson is being recommended to be added to the commission. Indicates she lives at 424 East Morgan. Does this require a vote? Okay. We need a motion. Okay, we do need a motion, if we're interested in Katie Johnson being added to the commission.
So move.
Mark?
Sorry.
Corey moved,
I'll second it.
second
Okay,
by Mark.
sorry.
Okay, roll call?
Evans,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Beach,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Ayers,
Yes.
Dorman,
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Okay. City Councilor?
I have nothing this evening.
Okay. Move on to economic development. Jim?
Welcome, Councilman Dorman. Welcome back, Councilman Livingston. Councilwoman Dorman, I apologize. If you'll turn in your hymnal to pages 26 and 27,
Do we stand or?
yeah, you'll see
Stand, yeah.
the Methodist belted out. You'll see the economic development report, and I'd like to just highlight a few things, but of course, if you see anything on here you'd like to respond to, I'm happy to answer any questions. I guess the first thing I'd like to address is under item 2A. The Missouri Partnership is a quasi-governmental entity that's responsible for marketing Missouri sites outside of the state of Missouri to prospective site selectors and companies. They play a very important role in the economic development attraction activities of the state. And we held a tour here for them last Friday, and we dined at the Katy Depot. We had a catered lunch, but we toured the Nordine facilities, both of them, and did kind of a familiarization tour. It went really well. I think where that will help us is they are essentially our salespeople meeting with site selectors outside of the state of Missouri. So they've been here. We fed them a good lunch, and they got to see what we're all about and the buildings that are on our list. So I think that was very helpful. Regarding the bakery, just so you are aware, I've submitted 3 different concepts to Flowers Foods to understand their temperature on the possibility of sale of the bakery, and I've sent the original communication on 3/5. I've followed up 3 times, and they haven't told me anything. They're essentially non-communicative. And those interactions have been directly with their real estate agent, not the local real estate agent. So when we started this, it was the local guy to the Dallas guy to the Georgia guy. Now it's just the Dallas to the Georgia guy, but the response is the same. So just to make you aware. Item 4C, on the MU campus this fall, we'll see the start of an Entrepreneur Legal Center. This is going to be some third-year law students that will be hosting clinics that are free to entrepreneurs for entrepreneurial advice, and they'll be overseen by a licensed attorney. So I think that will be very valuable, and they want cases from all over mid-Missouri, so not just Columbia. So I think that will be very helpful to some of the things that we're doing in entrepreneurship. I'll skip ahead to item 7E. Project Sapphire is a project where we were trying to attract a supplier here to Boonville that would be a supplier to Energy Americas, which is another company that's located here. Unfortunately, in that, we've become a bit of a commodity, meaning it finally got down to how many square feet is a building and at what cost. And we had worked on them for more than a year and thought we kind of had the inside track. I don't know their decision yet, but one good outcome from that is that I was able to have a conference call with the building owners so of the building we proposed, I had a conference call with the owners, and in my opinion, they were out of the market a little bit by what they were asking. So, and this is the Indico building, just so you know, is what was proposed. That building is, I forget the exact number. It's between 45 and 50,000 square feet. I did a search, and there were 76 comparables in the state of Missouri of that size. charging a lease rate between $1 per square foot per year up to $5 per square foot per year. The Indico owners were asking $4 per square foot. The nearest comparable I could find that was a similar building was in Warrensburg at $2 a square foot. So anyway, the result of all this is that after finding out how many comparables there were, they've lowered their asking lease rate, which should make that building more competitive. So while we didn't get that one, or we may not get that one, that may be helpful at some point in the future. Last time and the time before I reported to the council, item 7G, Project Snow, I thought we had a good chance of getting that, and then I believe that's going to Fulton. We had a lower cost building, better located, all the things that were qualifying, and it appeared it was going to Fulton, which I think is still going to happen even though an announcement hadn't been made. And we weren't chosen, and it turns out that the owner of this company that lives in Iowa has a lake home at the Lake of the Ozarks, and it's more convenient to drive off of 54 and Fulton on the way to your lake house. So,
Jeez.
anyway, we were competitive right up until it was more of an effort to get here than to your lake home.
So it was on the east side instead of the west side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Jeez.
anyway, I knew something wasn't right, but I didn't know what it was. Well, now I've heard from a third party that that's what the deal is. So, item 9, Katie and I are, and the mayor are going to be starting an effort to talk about our branding as a community. We're a little all over the place, and for several of the initiatives we have going on, whether that's attracting the bedroom community aspect of the 87 corridor, whether it's our industry, whether it's tourism, we're going to be working on that to be a more comprehensive brand. Certainly you'll have approval, you'll see all that before we get to it, but we're going to start the discussion because nobody's stuff matches anybody else's stuff. So I shared for you on pages 28, 29, 30, and 31 some of the recent opinions that have been voiced about Columbia's business climate. I thought you might find that interesting. There's a lot of discussion in the Columbia business community about what it's like to be there. Just shared that for your information. And then today, Wilbert Meyer, Kate, Earl, and myself met with the Chief Executive Officer of the Missouri Innovation Center, which is the incubator on the MU campus, about ways that we might bind some of our efforts to the new companies that are coming out of there. And I think it was a very fruitful conversation. We'll see what happens next. But anyway, those are the highlights. Are there any questions I can answer?
I was surprised even in Peggy Jean's comments that the nickname for Columbia was not used, the People's Republic of Columbia, that you hear on the ground all the time over there. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I'm not. Although I really don't see what's wrong with the Peggy Jean Pie's World Pie Domination being headquartered in Cooper County. So it's nice to know that since they aren't in alphabetical order, we must be top of mind after Boone, at least in her mind. But anyway, I just shared those. Any other questions? Thank you.
Okay, city clerk.
I have nothing this evening.
Okay, building inspector? I don't see Steve. Okay, no report. Anything under miscellaneous?
I've got a couple of questions, Becky. Gary, in your report, it's good to see the high school field, getting renovated, and I'm proud that we can help them to get that done. Do you happen to know who's in charge of scheduling for that field?
Right now, everything is being run through Chris Sheichels, who's the athletic director.
Okay.
Once school is out, Mel Linhart will manage the practice scheduling and things like that. But right now, during the school year, it's Chris.
Okay, thanks.
Anything else under miscellaneous?
I'd like to make a very, very quick and positive comment. For those of you that read the financial statement, I think all of our department heads and also Earl have a lot in here to be complimented for having completed. In almost every case, we've got surpluses, and that's good. Those surpluses can be set back and used for positive results in the future, but that was good to see. Thank you, Earl, and
Thank you.
everybody. Thank you, Becky.
After a couple of meetings, how are you guys liking the packets?
Truthfully.
I'd like the agenda separate. I like the fold,
Okay.
but I
Well, I
like,
think that it'd be good to maybe feed some information to Teresa in regards to the packets. I don't know if this is,
nice idea,
Well,
really nice
yeah.
idea. But having the agenda separate would be,
Okay, okay.
some colors, different pages.
okay, anything else?
So moved.
So moved to adjourn?
What would you guess?
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mark. All those in favor?
Aye.
Hey, Mark, you inherited this.